I know a few good stories. They take place in a corner of America that might seem familiar, yet still manages to surprise. The settings are spectacular, the characters compelling, the action exciting, the plot lines unpredictable. I'm Tom Richardson. Join me as I explore New England's great outdoors, from Candlewood Lake, Connecticut to Caribou, Maine, from the beaches of Cape Cod to the peaks of New Hampshire's White Mountains. The stories are waiting. Let's live them on Explore New England. Explore New England is presented by your New England Ford dealers, your local REI co-op. REI believes a life outside is fundamental to a life well lived. Campers Inn RV and visitnewengland.com. When it comes to combining work and pleasure, Tim Adams has the right idea. Tim is one of the founders and owners of Oxbow Brewing Company, a microbrewery with locations in Portland, Newcastle, and Oxford, Maine. In 2019, Oxbow purchased the venerable Carter's Cross Country Ski Center in Oxford, a recreational staple for many Nordic skiers in the area and a great place to learn the basics of the sport. They added a restaurant, outdoor beer garden, a bar that serves amazing wood-fired pizza, and voila, the perfect winter destination for combining outdoor exercise with delicious fresh brewed libations. I visited the Oxbow Beer Garden on my way to Bethel, Maine, as it's conveniently located on Route 26. There's no charge to use the trails, so after parking, I simply clipped into my skis and headed off. Before long, I arrived at a small hut in the woods, where none other than Tim Adams himself was dispensing his ales to thirsty skiers.
This spot, we're in our third season now, which is pretty cool. Second season, we've been rocking the hut bar out here and welcoming skiers out to this fun little bar in the woods. Yeah, one of the most rewarding things about this location has been its ability to serve as a really amazing meeting place, kind of community hub for folks from this area, but also certainly from away. I mean, we're right on the way up to Sunday River and Mount Abrams, so we've got all that traffic coming through, and then just as a destination of itself. But the fact that people are coming here to be outdoors in the winter in Maine is just so fun, you know. Before we turned this location into Oxbow Beer Garden, this was the Carter's Cross Country Ski Center and farm stand as well, right on Route 26. This has been a cross-country skiing location since the 70s. All kinds of folks have come here and skied, and there's big races back in the day and really a lot of rich history.
After relaxing by the fire pit and chatting with some fellow skiers, I returned to the trails, this time with Tim leading the way.
Do you groom the trails yourself?
Yeah, myself, my wife Birch, and then our coworker Jesse, who he actually worked here when it was Carter's.
Okay.
And so he's our like direct link to everyday help from Carter's family. So Jesse kind of taught us the ways of grooming the trails, and then we sort of split up the duties.
How many miles of trails do you have?
We've got about 8 miles of trails that we groom, that we maintain. And then there's lots of little side trails to be discovered. And you know, you could really spend a day in here just kind of poking around in between the marked trails and yeah, have a blast. Yeah, so we've at Oxbow we kind of pride ourselves on wild and crazy dynamic locations and activities with all kinds of different things going on, and like this place definitely is the we are doing that to the fullest extent out here. Just anything fun that will bring people together in the name of having a beer and hanging out, we're into it.
After enjoying a refreshing Saison-style ale and delicious pizza, I continued northwest along Route 26 to the town of Bethel, not far from the New Hampshire border, and checked into my home for the next few days, the Holiday House Bed and Breakfast. Owned by Tennessee transplants John and Jeanette Poole, who spent several years renovating the early 1900s-era home, Holiday House is centrally located in Bethel and features 7 guest rooms with private baths, plus a larger suite that sleeps up to 4 people and features its own kitchen. One of the highlights at Holiday House is Jeanette's incredible home-cooked breakfasts and baked goods, made with locally sourced, farm-fresh ingredients.
Living in Bethel, I tell people all the time, it's a great town. There's a real big volunteer community. People love helping each other out. A lot of nonprofit type stuff. It's a really neat place. And we were really concerned, we're moving to a little town in New England. Are we going to fit in? What's going to happen? We might have been here 3 or 4 days before we had met. I don't even know how many people.
Countless people.
Just coming, hey, glad you're here. Where'd you guys move in from? And
yeah, we could be here 50 years and still be flatlanders, but everyone was very welcoming. So
yeah, but yeah, it's just a really neat place. I wish we could have raised the kids here.
While Bethel, Maine is perhaps best known for its proximity to Sunday River Ski Resort, the town has a lot more to offer besides downhill skiing and snowboarding. For example, Bethel marks the start, or end, depending on how you look at it, of the newly established XNAT multi-use trail, which stretches 83 miles from Bethel to Woodsville, New Hampshire. To learn more, I met up with XNAT founder and executive director Marianne Borowski at the Davis Park Trailhead. The XNAT, which is short for Cross New Hampshire Adventure Trail, is a 4-season multi-use trail system that's accessible to bikers, hikers, skiers, ATV riders, and snowmobilers. The different user groups work cooperatively to maintain the trails throughout the year, and everyone seems to get along just fine.
I've done cross-country, I've done a variety of the longer distance trails around the country, like Erie Canal Trail. I just like spending my vacation budget on my bicycle going from place to place. And there's a lot of people who do enjoy that too. Looking around in this area here, we don't have a lot of paved trails, but we have a lot of rail trails. I thought maybe linking these together would be good. And I sat with the map, I did it. I did a little publicity, a little promotion, and build it and they will come. It's really taken off.
While the trail conditions were icy and far from ideal for cross-country skiing, Marianne and I bravely set off to explore some of the XNAT, our route taking us over and along the frozen Androscoggin River, which flows through Bethel.
Okay, this bridge was built by the snowmobile clubs so that they had a way to get over the river instead of being on the highway bridge. And it works great for bicycles and for pedestrians during the summer too. And it provides a beautiful view of the hills and the river below. It's all frozen right now.
Right, and that's the Androscoggin River, right?
That's the Androscoggin River, absolutely. The bicyclists and the walkers and the friends groups that support them on these trails maintain them during the summertime. So they will take care of downed trees, they will report washouts, and then the winter, the snowmobile clubs, they take care of it. So it's a nice symbiotic relationship there. So I suppose when November comes along and the snowmobile clubs come out, they don't have quite as much work to do.
Can skiers check the XNAT website for trail conditions? How can you tell, what shape the trail's in?
I do update the trail conditions on the website fairly often, but the snowmobile clubs will update probably even more often. I do try to look at their Facebook posts and what the Bureau of Trails has posted, and I'll try and put that on the website. The key is to know the snow before you go. Because if it's icy, you're not going to want to do a long distance thing on skis. You might want to take your microspikes or snowshoes instead. If you've got some nice powdery conditions, take your skis and enjoy it. But you should know that. If some days it's really warm, especially in the springtime, you could get a warm day, the snow softens up, and then it gets really cold at night, so it turns it icy. That's probably a good day to take your microspikes. After a nice snowfall, you get a bunch of inches, 5-6 inches of fresh snow, then make your own tracks. Because you know that on these trails, the surface underneath is packed down.
Right.
So you get that fresh stuff on top. There's very little obstacles in there because people have taken out the rocks and taken out the big roots, and it's in good shape.
Yeah. Well, now what are your ideal conditions? Like, give me temperature, give me snowfall, wind conditions. What when you see them all aligning and you say I gotta go.
What's heaven, you mean?
Yeah, what's heaven, right?
I'd say 20 degrees, no wind, and sunshine, and bluebird sky. We've got the bluebird sky today.
Right, and a little fresh powder?
A little fresh powder on top, maybe a few inches.
Mm-hmm.
I often like to ski where I don't even see my skis. They're just going right underneath the snow.
Okay.
And it's really quiet when that happens too. Other times it can be a little crusty and you hear yourself clumping.
like today?
Yeah. But to have that quiet, and you don't hear the skis and you're moving along, that's there we go, heaven.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
To provide this, we have sent maps to 41 of the 50 states of people who have been interested in doing this, and we've awarded over 600 patches. We give a patch out when you've completed end-to-end, and 600 of them have gone out of people who have done it. So I'm glad it provides an adventure and some fun for a lot of people.
While the XNAT is open to fat tire biking, there are other places in Bethel to ride in the snow. For example, at the Bethel Inn Resort, you can rent fat bikes, skis, and snowshoes from Inland Woods and Trails, a nonprofit that seeks to create and support access to all forms of healthful human-powered outdoor activities for people of all ages and abilities.
So Inland Woods and Trails was founded 11 years ago, and our whole purpose was to build and maintain and advocate for an interconnected, year-round trail system in a general area of Bethel, Maine, up to the River Valley in Rumford, Maine. It's grown to about 80 miles of hiking trails, single-track mountain bike trails, cross-country ski trails, double track, sort of like you can bike and walk on them, and then fat bike trails as well.
The Bethel Inn features several miles of groomed trails, as well as single-track sections that lead through the woods. Many follow the same paths used by golfers during the warmer months.
Like, the town owns 2,500 acres. They want to have public access to it. They have their hands full with plowing roads and fixing sidewalks and patching stuff. So we help manage the recreation for the town on one of their pieces of land. And that's like a perfect collaborative kind of component where we both know what we want, and they can leverage a nonprofit like ourselves to help pull it all together. And we rely on like 80 volunteers to also do all these little things. There's all these little touches, like helping to clear blowdowns on these trails in the spring or in the fall when we get ready for skiing. Or, I mean, we planted 10,000 trees last year. That took a lot of volunteers, you know? And then also people just love to be outside here and play outside. And so it's been perfect for anyone who loves to be outdoors. It's just been great to be here, and people are totally into what we're doing. And you know, there's a lot of support for people getting out and playing outside, no matter what your background is, your skill set is, your interest is. We've kind of got something for you here. So that's what I love about it, yeah.
I knew that my winter trip to Bethel, Maine wouldn't be complete without a visit to Carter's cross-country ski center on Intervale Road. Generations of Nordic skiers have cut their teeth at Carter's, both here and at the original location in Oxford.
I first learned how to cross-country ski as soon as I could walk. My parents put me on skis when I was about 18 months old, and we actually have those skis inside. They're made out of barrel staves, and then they have 75mm 3-pin bindings, and that my dad actually made out of a barrel. I wore those, my sisters wore those, all of our kids wore those, and then we actually still put kids on them today. My dad and my mom started Carter's down in Oxford actually in 1984, and at that point my sisters and I were just very little, and my dad always wanted to start a cross-country ski center. He actually worked at Jackson Ski Touring Center in New Hampshire and really helped that to get that off the ground, and then he always wanted to create his own ski touring center. And so initially he started our touring center actually as a club, and he really motivated and encouraged all of his friends to come and join the club, and that's how he really got the interest level started in the beginning. And then from there it just grew into our ski touring center in Oxford. And then eventually he really wanted to move the business up here to Bethel because this is where he grew up. We own about 200 acres of land here that we have about 65 kilometers of ski trails on. There's just a lot more terrain up here, obviously. We have trails that go along the Androscoggin River, and then we also have trails that go up Farwell Mountain with views of the Cardamarayas, the Presidentials, the Mahoosuc, Sunday River. So there's just a lot of diverse terrain and a lot of different kinds of skiing.
Carter's takes great pride in their trails, which range from easy, gentle beginner greens to more challenging hilly terrain. It clearly has a following among local skiers, many of whom bring their dogs on the trails, and offers a peaceful, relaxing venue for outdoor exercise.
So yeah, here at Carter's we're definitely all about getting kids out on skis and getting families out on skis, and we really try to create a very welcoming community atmosphere for people who are just learning or who are just wanting to try the sport out for the very first time. And so on Fridays people can come and ski and snowshoe for a half-off trail pass, which is an excellent way to get people out and about in the winter.
While Carter's is one of Bethel's most venerable institutions, there's a magical new winter attraction in town, the Northeast Ice Palace. Created by Maine artist Lester Spear, the palace is part immersive art exhibit, part fantasy park, and it has proven to be a big hit, especially after dark when the ice is illuminated by multicolored lights.
This is our main entryway this year.
Wow, no way. This is crazy. Oh man, it's like a snow globe in here.
Yes, right, especially with this one.
Yeah, I love it.
We're in a snow globe.
Well, this is winter in Maine for sure.
You got it.
Has it been pretty popular?
Yeah, it's been very popular. I mean, local traffic has been phenomenal. People really have enjoyed it.
So it's great. It's right near Sunday River, so
Yep.
people coming to and from the mountain.
Yep.
Something to do at night, right?
Exactly.
Kids must just go bananas for
They
this
absolutely
thing.
love it. I mean, adults too, and it's a low cost of entry. A lot of outdoor activities in the winter are very expensive. This is something that everybody can do as a family.
So I've worked with my hands for a long time. I did landscaping when I was younger. Then I got into the trades, doing carpentry, and then I got into the resort industry. And I saw a fit of engaging the public in something that's fun and using my construction past. So the first thing is laying out a huge water system. Basically, we have 2 manifolds, again, total of 36 sprinkler heads. That's about 2 miles of water pipe. We get that all set up and laid out, and then we sort of lay out where our footprint's going to be, entrances, exits, all that, and then we wait for the cold.
Anyone tell you that you're crazy?
Oh yeah, I'm crazy. Like, what are you doing? Absolutely. But once they come and see what we're actually doing, all of them are, very excited about it and really buy into the whole program. Once we started launching it in the town, everybody really supported it. I mean, we had people coming to check it out, bringing food, cookies, giving us the, keep going. When they saw that it was hard work, they gave us a lot of encouragement. So yeah, it's been great up here. It's a great fit for this outdoor adventure stuff. I mean, Bethel is already set up for it. They're already doing it year round, and this just adds another piece to that puzzle, yeah, for sure.
The Ice Palace is but one of many attractions that make Bethel a worthy winter destination. Whether it's exploring the X-Nat Trail or fat biking through the woods, you'll find plenty of ways to enjoy the outdoors in this corner of Maine.